Afternoon, everybody. My name is Denys Greenaway, or commonly known in the society as Denys the Decadent. I can sit back and say Grandmaster Bowman, Master and Order of the Cornelian, all that other fun stuff, but that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk about, I want to talk to you about the crossbow. I would like to ask everybody here to introduce themselves. Who's here?
Hi, I'm Freitas Ilska.
Delikia?
I'm Tua Floy. I'm the archery marshal at Black Rose, and I'm trying to make more archery marshals. So thank you, Denys.
Yay, more of us.
Hi, I'm Malcolm, one of her mitts.
We're also joined by Ragnall, who is driving, so he's not talking right now.
I'm Barry. I'm over from Fargo, North Dakota.
Yay. Is that everybody?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I want to start out by sort of showing you, as we say, this is a crossbow. The parts of a crossbow is you can have a couple of different ways to release the string. This is a roller nut, okay? They also have what we call a push pin, and I don't have any push pins available. That's a notch, and there's a dowel rod that pushes the string up and out, okay? And then you also have what we call a clap lock, which is really that it comes down and holds the string in this way. It's sort of a later period thing. The table of the crossbow is here. Do not put your fingers above the table when you have a cocked crossbow. It hurts. Take my word for it. I've had it done a few times. More importantly, when you're cocking the crossbow and you lean over and you hit the tickler and that thing comes down on your fingers, I wear like half gauntlets, and you'll sit back and say you'll thank yourself for wearing those half gauntlets. We have the stirrup, the prod. This one is held on by bow irons, but in contrast, this is actually a Swifttown crossbow by Mary Ellen out of Austin, Texas. This is bridling. This is where they tie on the prod to the body. Now, if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, they do a really nice job, but yours truly did this job, and I don't like bridling. I'm not good at it, but I still do it. This bow is actually a semi-recreation of the early crossbows from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The general size of the crossbow, those items with the bone inlay, is based on that. And this is a laminated prod. What you're going to find are 3 to 4 kinds of prods. First of all, okay, the more rare are laminated prods. And I'm hoping that Elk Ridge Archery out of Michigan starts getting back to them. I was talking to John this week and said, John, I want more laminated prods. They're very efficient. We have the old standby steel prod, okay? And you have those. Then you also have aluminum prods, and you have fiberglass prods, which are the modern crossbows. You will find people will come on the line with sort of the 1960s vintage whammo crossbows, which have a trigger. When, as marshals, you come up to a crossbow, there's a couple things that you look for. First of all, is the prod seated? That is there any movement if you move this prod, okay? This one you tighten with wedges on bow irons. They also have them, a gentleman out of Ohio called Slow Bow. They have screws, and it's really an efficient system to hold the bow irons on with a screw system. And I actually have a couple of those. But as a marshal, you take the prod and you see if the prod moves, okay? And sometimes when they are bridled, you can go up and there's just a very, very slight movement. Now, if you have any questions about that, kick it up to the marshal in charge, okay? There should be really no give. There's no give on this one, okay? There can be itty bitty, but if you have any question, always go to safety and say no. Then when you're there, you push on the roller nut. Now this is, it's not the most, and see if it lets go, because you push you push your tickler or the trigger up, and that's what lets the roller nut go, okay? Now, if by some chance you push that and it goes, but make sure that it is cocked and seated, but you should be able to push up on that. and sort of just look at the general body, make sure there's no like major cracks or where a crossbow can fail, okay, with bow irons, which happened to me about 15, 20 years ago. I was shooting archery champions, and it was actually this crossbow. There are pins, reinforcement pins here. That go there. They're in there now. Before that, there were no reinforcement pins, and literally these bow irons pushed, broke, and these bow irons come out, and a slab of wood came out, and this prod was sitting about 2 inches in front. I shot, and it didn't go well. I looked up, and my prod was 2 inches in front of the crossbow, so I was done for the day. But then I sent this crossbow back actually to Becky. She pinned it for me. That happened in June. I had it back by July, and I could go to Penzic and shoot it. But now the way I shoot, okay, is a little different. You're going to see people do this, okay, which is I call it the gun style, and I forget how. I think Becky told me if I put my hand down here and I push up like this with my thumb. If I'm shooting like this, my arm's up and it's very strained. But if I push down like this, it's very not strained, and I can make a really nice triangle to shoot. And when you're still, also move and see if your stirrup can move. Okay, if your prod is set and the stirrups, let's say, tied on separately, if the stirrup's moving, that's okay. I have a crossbow where the stirrup moves, the prod is set. Okay, but again, I would say if anybody wants to come over here to my house and shoot, I'm happy to put something together, have you come up and do it here. This is the crossbow I've been shooting for a lot of time, because this is like a laminated prod, okay? And I have what we call a bow press, where I can put this crossbow in what we call a bow press, and it goes down, it pushes down and pulls the prod together, and I can string it very easily and unstring it. I do it every day with this crossbow. I'm treating it very well because I had a 100-pound prod, and I'm pretty sure it got too cold there. But when it comes to the crossbow, it's making sure your roller nut doesn't let go, your prod is set, okay, and that structurally the crossbow looks stable. And on a crossbow inspection, that's what you're looking for. Safety, safety, safety. Now when you're going to shoot a crossbow, making sure your fingers are below the table, okay? When I first got my first crossbow, I moved very slowly with it. A crossbow is a very unforgiving item, okay? You have this, and you don't want to go right to speed rounds, take my word for it. But you get a crossbow, and it's practice, 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 and learning how to do it. Some people can sit down and shoot. I stand up and shoot most of the time. I have another crossbow, which I'm going to be working with, and I might try sitting down to shoot that for speed rounds, but that's another story. I'd like to open it up at this time. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Yeah, Dennis, I have a question.
Good.
The stock of a crossbow, do those
Yes.
ever tend to crack or fail?
Not really. Where the only time I've ever had one fail was mine. Okay.
Okay.
And I said the thing is that was where the bow irons up here, where this piece of wood, where I can put it here, where this piece of wood in front of the bow irons broke out, and literally my prod was sitting out about 2 inches. And I looked at that and went, oh, heck. And it wasn't heck. That was it. The other thing I'm just saying, I've never really had to see it. All I'm saying is just one of those things, you look at it there. You can have a little play on your tickler. The thing is with the tickler, it's not the side. That's coming up, and there's a spring in there holding the roller nut in place, okay? And here, you're in pretty good shape, but right there is, if you look real close, and you can't really see it probably from what we're doing here, but you can still see there's like 2 lines there, okay? There's probably 2 lines there, right there. And she put 3 pins in up here, okay?
Okay.
And that reinforces that part of the crossbow. It's sort of like if you have a crossbow maker, and that's one thing about talking to this gentleman in Canada, Duncan, and talk to him about, make sure he has a reinforcement pin up there, because I like bow irons because I can swap out the prod. Now, one more thing on a steel prod. If you look real close here, you can see there's shrink wrap around the center here. Someday this prod will fail due to metal fatigue. Okay, these little gizmos here, they're made by Dr. Stirrup. They're there to minimize vibration. Okay, I'm experimenting with them because the less vibration, the less metal fatigue, etc. I don't know how long. I don't have any real record, but I'm trying it out because, well, I'll tell you, you bend over it and you cock it, and I've had them happen this way now twice. I go to cock it, and the one side come up real slow, and you're sitting there and you have this prod this direction, it's left go down here, and the other one come up and slap my hand.
Ow.
Okay, but with the shrink wrap, it don't go flying off. Okay, now what I have had happen are strings. 2019 outdoor show. Oh no, last year, 2019 outdoor, 2020 outdoor show in Harrisburg. I basically had this crossbow, and I went out. Finals are getting ready to happen. I pull up, I shoot once, and the tip and the string let go, and it went over that way. So I had to go back and put a new string on. Now, the ironic thing is with our stuff that we have with like this, I don't care how close that string is to the same thing. That string is just a little bit different, and it moved my aim point about 2 inches downrange. And so instead of doing as well as I thought I would do, my goal is to hit 26 out of 30. Okay, I hit about 24 out of 30, but I was shooting a little high, a little bit low because the string's different. But the strings can let go too, and they'll go off. I've never had anything. Actually, I've shot 2 strings off out here. I've yet to find them out here where I do my shooting. But you can also, excuse me, string for wear. Look at your tips, okay, of the string. Look at your serving. Make sure the serving is okay. Make sure the just like a regular hand bow. You follow me? You look at your hand bow strings and you'll look for if there's fray or whatever. On another note, sort of running around with the modern crossbow guys, there's a guy making Kevlar serving. This stuff is wearing like a beast. It's really nice. I know, quote unquote, not period. But for what I look at is I'm looking for safety and wear. And I've bought some of this stuff. I have a guy in England right now making strings for me. And I'm waiting for a new set of strings for this crossbow any day now. And then I'm going to send him a roll of this Kevlar serving and have him put that on some strings for me. But check the string. Anything else?
Yes, 2 for you. 1, is the towel on the stock of the crossbow, is that for everyone, or is that something you do for protection?
That is my shock cloth. Okay. I set this in on my shoulder right here, and then I tie down on it. I know it don't look the best, but I started doing it many, many years ago. It's my shock cloth for this style of crossbow. Okay. And it's just a matter that for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. When I shoot, there is a vibration. That vibration comes right up the crossbow, and I put that in here to my if I don't have the shock cloth on, where it goes into my shoulder bones, it gets sore. Okay. Is it period? No. It works. Yes. And it's Denys's thing. It's kind of like I have a leg quiver. I have found out since there's other people that have used them, but years ago, I started thinking about it and actually had my wife, and I said, make me a quiver. So I have a quiver I strap down on my lower part of my leg because I'm leaning over, cocking the crossbow, grab the quill on the way up, stick it in the crossbow, and away we go. Okay. But that is a Denys thing. Most of the time you won't see them.
Okay. And the other question is, I know during normal inspection of hand bows, you have them do pulls. How does that differ with the crossbow?
I will just assume outright that they know how to cock their crossbow. I mean, I can sit here, I can sit here. Now I can put this to my chest or actually down here in my stomach, and you'll see me cocking this one right now by that, because when I'm wearing my vest and my coat and I lean over, I'm having an interference with the tickler. So I've just started doing it, and I was laughing. I said, when I go to the gym and do a lot of ab work, and I literally can take 100-some pound full crossbow, cock it in like that, and let it go. And it all started back when they had a horse shoot. They had a 55-gallon drum horse shoot. And they told me very proudly, Mr. Denys, we have this shoot. You cannot get off of the horse to cock your crossbow. I said, no problem. And that day I learned how to cock the crossbow without leaving the horse. I put it up right here underneath my solar plexus, cocked it, and I won the event. and I sat back and I said, you'll see me shooting probably today. I'll have to go. Matter of fact, I'll take you back and I'll show you what the bow press looks like and how that works. My God, I'm so glad I have one. Now, I mean, normally I have a rope I put on the end of the crossbow. I put it down. I put my foot on the rope, push the foot down, and that's how I would string the crossbow. Okay. Having the crossbow press, it's wonderful. It's a mechanical device that moves it. And I'm so glad I have one. I've even carted this thing out to Penzic and had it in my tent. Okay. It's a little bit heavy, but still it's worth the trip to have that available for doing it. So what else?
And it's
You
expected.
mentioned a couple. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. The bolt inspections, is that the same as a regular arrow?
Yep. Matter. Oh yeah. Thank you. I have them sitting right here too. Yep. Generally, what do they pull out 1 or 2 bolts? I shoot a variety. Here's one I shot. And I have to take my bolts and actually heat these up and push them back on because they've been sitting. And I shot yesterday and lost the tip. I shoot 11. Was it 11/32, 23/64, even 5/16, depending. And I looked at the straightness. I'm in the process of having a set. I got like some 55, 60 pound splined arrows, and I want to have them. They cut. I generally shoot I take a 32-inch shaft, have it cut in half. That's what I shoot. That's my scientific method. I do have some that are a little bit longer, made specially. But no, you check the bolt, the straightness, and look for breaks, and I can tell you. Let me see what I have. I have one here someplace, I think. Well, here, I'll use this one. I always wanted to hear the experiment. Okay, I had one that had about that much fletching on one side and that much fletching on the other. Now, I've always heard that if you have a little bit of feather, you can still shoot it. I can attest it works. I shot this one bolt with a little bit of feather, and I shot it 30, 40 times, and it shot just as well as the ones with the full feather. And I hear a lot of things. What I like to do is try it out. Okay. Would I pass this? I have a feather on each side. It's safe to shoot. There's no cracks in it. It's straight. I need a tip, but it would go there. But again, if you're on the line and you have a question, and this one thing I think is very important. I'm at this stage of my game, I still don't know everything. I will still sit back and reach out and ask questions to other archers. I will still sit back and, seek out extra knowledge. I smile at the amount of input I've been getting just from people watching my videos on how to shoot better. I had one gentleman told me, he said, "You're swaying, unlock your knees." I unlocked my knees and I quit swaying. I don't know everything. I'm happy to share what I know, but more importantly, I'm happy to keep learning what else is out there. I can say specifically on a crossbow, you want to have a well set prod. You want to make sure that the roller nut doesn't excessively, that you can't push it with your hands. Watch somebody shoot, somebody that just has a brand new crossbow gets on the line. Oh my heavens, I didn't even want to think about that, but I'd watch them like a hawk, be able to go over, cock the crossbow, bring it up, set the bolt safely, shoot, But I mean, for somebody, if you get a crossbow, you want to spend time. I sit back with the modern crossbow people that go hunting. They think they have this new machine. Okay, by the way, I have a bunch of those too. That it's just an automatic shot. It's like, no, it ain't. You want to go out and put 20, 30 shots through that puppy and understand, you know, even though you're shooting with a target, even though with a scope and everything, you want to know your device when you shoot it. I do have longbows and recurves. I've shot longbow with the British Longbow Society. I said I just prefer shooting a crossbow, and I have some arthritis in my hands, and I can shoot, you know, 20, 30. I'm down to a 35-pound bow. When I'm shooting a recurve, 35-pound bow, and when I start shooting a recurve, I start at about 10 yards in front of the target to get warmed up a little bit, and then I'll move back. But I mean, I like shooting my crossbows, and you know, that's where we're at. Anything else? Come on, anything. I'm happy to help out here or show or talk about.
You'd mentioned a couple of times the table on your crossbow. I just wanted to clarify that terminate.
Okay. Yep. The table is where this is the table of the crossbow. It's where you'll see here. This has a track, and we have. Hold on, just a second. This is a trackless. This is the Becky, not Becky bow. This is Ehrlich bow. There's no track here, but there's a little thing here. You lay your bolt here, and the front of the bolt lays right there. And this is a trackless, okay? And there'd be the two types of crossbows that you would see in our group. Most of the time, you'll see them tracked. The modern ones, like your Whammos, your other wooden stock. There's some not wooden stock Chinese bows that are fiberglass. As long as they don't have front sights, you can have a rear sight. Is how our rules say. There, my goal, and I got to find out. World Crossbow Competition. They have a period division, and we shoot at 20, 30, 40 meters. They encourage you to dress up. You have to have hand cocking, no sights. I'm ready. I smile with myself when I have a crossbow, and I've tried to put sights on my medieval stuff, and it just doesn't work. Now I have scoped crossbows, and they're fun to play with, and I play with them. But no, the table is this top area here, referred to the table, specifically up front where you put your bolt. Okay. He reaches back and gets a drink of water. Anything else?
When it comes to shooting, what do you see as the most common error that a lot of first shooters have? Like they either try and aim for the center too often. They don't understand that the bolt is going to rise a lot higher than they think. What are some of the first things that a good marshal needs to tell a new crossbow archer? Be prepared for this.
Okay. Go slow. Go slow. Now, you have a thing called parallax. When I'm shooting this crossbow, I will shoot this crossbow aiming off the tip of my bolt. Yesterday, when I was shooting at 40 yards, the tip of my bolt was approximately 18 inches below where I wanted to hit because my eye is higher than that. I'm not shooting straight down. I'm not aiming straight down like this. My eye is up, so I have the parallax effect that I have to account for. Now, you can have a little pinhole sights back here that you would aim off the tip of the bolt in relation to the crossbow bolt. That's what they would do. The thing that I would stress is a matter of speed, you know, and as a marshal, it's important. And I says, I've never had to pull anybody off the line. Okay. But if you would see them, you know, being too fast or being sloppy because they have to bring it up, you set your bolt. Okay. Hold on a second. I'd like to explain to you the Denys rule. People for years, do not let them do this. There's one person in the known SCA that's allowed to do this. You're talking to them. It's the Denys rule. Dennis puts a bolt in. Sometimes Dennis puts his thumb down and seats the bolt. Don't let people do that. Okay. Dennis is the only one allowed to do that because it's my thumb. Actually, holding, if you don't have a clip, the clip of a crossbow is actually a late period. I've learned this from Todd on Todd's stuff, Todd's workshop. If you go to Todd's workshop, he makes medieval crossbows. The clip was a very late period, and you used to hold the bolt with your thumb there. Okay. But what I'm talking about is bringing it back and seating it. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But I've actually partially gotten away from it. But you don't let people put your hand in here. They call this the triangle of ouch. Okay, because if I happen to hit that. Now the other thing is that what you have to be able to do if you cock it is to be able to uncock it. It's about 100. It's about 100-pound, 110-pound prod. I haven't really, pushed it. But that's what you're going to see. Most of the time, you'll see like the gentleman in Canada is making the aluminum prods or using the aluminum prods. They're like 70, 80 pounds. Good efficiency. They shoot well. I'm not sure how fast they shoot. The laminated prods, it's a very efficient transfer of energy with a laminated prod. I'm talking to a gentleman in, my one ear pod just came out. Iran, who's making a carbon wood. He's making almost a composite type prod. Okay. And him and I are talking because I told him, I said, I want to get one of his prods. And what the ironic thing we're trying to figure out is he makes a prod and I know what size and poundage it is, that I have a crossbow to fit it, but how to pay him and how to get it shipped out of Iran to here. Because we're not on the best terms. But this is part of how I've been dealing with people from literally all over the world. And I'd like to shoot one of this guy's prods that he's shown me. I've seen his videos. He's doing some really nice stuff. His bolts are beautiful. That he's making. And but no, if you're watching somebody on the line, okay, it's like any archer. Okay. And don't be afraid to call a hold and step up and say, are you having problems? Okay. But I've never really had to stop a crossbowman, haven't really had to stop a hand bowman, but it's something you look for. The whole thing is, if I put my fingers up above the table, that string lets go, you're going to learn real quick to keep your fingers below the table. You're going to, you sting yourself, Now, if I put my hand here, I can't. I can hardly do it. I put my hand here. Yeah, I can really put them up there. But that's one thing that we have is that with our stuff, we're not shooting at 400 feet per second. The person will get stung, and that would be it. But that would be the one thing there. And that as long as they, you have like almost if I can get this, let me set this back a little bit. Okay, I have my crossbow. I put my foot in there. I lean over. I take the string, cock the crossbow. I bring it up. I set my bolt in it. I go to shoot. Okay, and the other thing is, I've never seen it happen, but it could happen. This is where people, and more of the modern crossbowmen, they cock the crossbow, they put the bolt in while the foot's in the stirrup, set it off and nail their foot to the floor. Now, I have never seen it happen for us. Modern wise, it's more, and even it's hard, it would be hard to do there because most of your crossbows that you have now, modern, you're not leaning over and cocking. You got a rope. You got a rope cocker. But I've heard in the past, I've never had it documented, but I have no faith. I have faith that somebody somewhere got stupid, and I have a clip there. And if that clip's tight enough, if that's cocked, I can lean down, stick a bolt there, and if I hit my tickler, that's through my foot. But I've never. We're talking, in that case, we're talking extreme possibilities, but it's still, you know, it's what, as a marshal, I don't want to do the paperwork. You can shoot yourself in the foot if you work hard enough. If we can prevent it, I think it's important. I've never seen anybody on the line do that. Not to say that it can't happen, you know. So, anything else?
Is there a special badge for accomplishing that?
We could make one. Contact a herald and see what they would look at. Anything else? You know, the whole thing is it's relatively simple. More importantly, if at all possible, I'll put it this way: if you can come here to my house, I'm happy to help you. B, God willing, and the river don't rise, we'll be at Penzic this year. I'm an easy find. Denys the Decadent's camp. I'm on the Great Eastern Highway, sort of west of the Great Dark Horde. You'll see signs that'll say, I have imagine a wall, imagine a gate, imagine the gatehouse. I'm back in the woods there. I also put out signs that say 12-step meeting. I host a 4 o'clock 12-step meeting in my camp daily. And if you ask anybody anywhere where the 12-step meetings at 4 o'clock, they can show you. But the whole thing is you may get me there, but more importantly, get with me and we'll meet up on the range and I'll be happy to let you shoot a crossbow, show you how to shoot a crossbow, and do all this in real time. And this way we can continue that type of information because I've never had an item in my entire life that can make certain people so, pissed off. 4 years ago, I'm at war practice and I'm staying at Shea Hampton Inn over in Butler. I'm in my medieval clothes. I have 2 crossbows with me. I get on the elevator. I'm standing there and this gentleman gets on. I look at him and said, I was just over at Cooper's Lake shooting archery. He looks at me and says, shooting a crossbow is not archery. He says, only shooting a bare bow with that. And I said, well, sir, I've shot longbows, the British Longbow Society. I've even shot at the Ancient Squirt and Silver Arrow Shoot. I understand. And this guy has gone on and on. I'm going, okay. So I'm in what I call SCA diplomatic mode. I'm not about to confront this man in any way, shape, or form. I'm there, God bless you. Have a good day. We go 1 floor, by the way. He gets off of the elevator, turns around, looks at me, and he says, shooting a crossbow is not archery. So I shoot non-archery, but I shoot a crossbow. It's like the bad guys in movies always shoot crossbows. The good guys always shoot longbows. But I said the whole thing is that for me, I shoot what I like. I can sit back and I shoot my recurves. I shoot my longbows. I have a longbow made in England. Okay. I shot in 1996 at the Ancient Squirt and Silver Arrow Shoot run by the British Longbow Society. I was over on an exchange program, which is shooting a longbow at 100 yards at a 4-foot target. They call it a York round. And the first person to hit the gold wins wins the silver arrow. They don't give you the real silver arrow anymore. It's been going on since the late 1600s, etc. And I've had that privilege to have had that experience, But I sit back and say, shoot what you like and enjoy things. Just do it. I think that's very important, that what we do with archery. And what's nice about archery to me is I can have a kid, okay? When I teach somebody archery, okay, and if I even would show you how to shoot a crossbow, I go to about 10 yards in front of the target. The Kudo people, the Japanese Kudo people, for the first 2 to 3 years, all they do is shoot and do their whole form for like 2 years, like 6 to 9 feet in front of the target, because all they're worried about is form. I take that a little bit where I'm having somebody starting to shoot archery. I want them to come and pull, draw, release so that they have that feel first. I'm not going to sit there. I tell them, don't worry about aiming. Don't worry. I want you to be able to pull, draw, release, and feel comfortable. Then after they have that, then we can start fine tuning, aim point. What gets me is you see a new archer out on the field when I go to an event. They're trying to hit a target 20 yards out there. I don't care if I'm shooting a crossbow or a recurve or a longbow. Okay. That's a little daunting. And for me, it's starting out where I'm going to take that person. I want them to feel confident where it's technique first. Then we can start moving back, and you can work on that aim point where you said about earlier, what about the aim? Well, you shoot there and you see where you're hitting, and you can adjust on the crossbow. You shoot with the longbow or the recurve, and you do the same thing. But it's getting that pull, draw, release technique for a hand bow. Cock, set, load, shoot for a crossbow. And you work your way back slowly. The biggest problem I see in the society is, I call it the event to event archery people. They go to an event and shoot, then the next event they go to shoot, but there's no shooting in between. Okay, and that's okay. That's their thing. And people get frustrated. The worst thing is that if I have a new archer, I had a guy, this would be about 5-6 years ago. He's from up in upstate New York. He had never shot before. In 3.5 hours, I had him 6 out of 6 at 20 yards. I took him over to the 10 yards, and we shot 6 out of 6 there. And it worked over a period of about 3.5 hours. We shot 3 at there, then we started shooting at the 15. So we'd have 3 at the 10, 3 at the 15. Then we shot 6 out of 6 at the 15. Took a break and come back, repeated that. Eventually we got up, and when I was done with him, he was hitting 6 out of 6 at 20 yards, because we were able to take a little bit of time to work up to that. And the thing would be, is I do the same thing with the crossbow as I do with the longbow, as I do with the recurve. Take it easy, go slow, and I still see this gentleman on a regular basis, you know. And the thing is that you can take and show people correctly how to do it, safely how to do it, and make sure their equipment that they're using is safe. How's that sound? Anything else? I put everybody to sleep. Hello?
Sorry.
We're all here. We're just
Hold
muted.
on. Yeah, we're all muted.
Yeah.
Didn't want to
I
disturb
thought-
you.
Yeah, we were just all muted. Not
Hey.
asleep.
Hey, look, I've been elected official for 42 years. I can go and go and go. How about any more crossbow questions on crossbow safety or what to look for? I was going to say, I'll show you what my other toys look like if you like.
That's
Yeah, I don't have any other questions
Yeah.
I can think of.
I
We're
went
good?
to the other
That
part.
is okay, or SCA okay to allow, I've seen a lot of people shoot aluminum, but I've not seen anyone shoot fiberglass.
Bolts. If you're shooting at an SCA event, okay, let me put that back down. Let's talk bolts here real quick. If you're shooting at an SCA event, wooden shafts, feathered fletchings, okay? Wooden shafts, feathered fletchings. I haven't been able to get it done. What I've been shooting for my daily competition, when I do it, technically I'm shooting, well, that's a tough one here. I'm shooting an XX75 Wicked Ridge aluminum shaft with a whistle tip. Okay, there's 2 holes in that whistle tip. And
Sorry, I
have,
need to specifically ask about
I'm sorry.
the bow portion. The
Oh.
not the-
What's the bow? The bow, you can have the bow made of whatever, as long as the bow's safe. You can have fiberglass, you can have wood, you can have, I even have a steel bow. You can have a self bow, which is all wood. You can have a fiberglass bow. What you'll see is the 1960s, 1970s bear bow. You will see takedowns. Okay, as long as it's a recurve, as long as it's a long bow, you can have a shelf. You don't have to have a shelf. Okay.
I've
You
seen
can have
the number one thing that I've seen that always goes first is always the string, because it rubs really fast and everything. But I've also seen where the fiberglass does not take vibrations or stuff really well. And I've seen a lot of, it might still be strong, but you start seeing a lot of the fiberglass starting to come loose. And you can definitely see it when someone is shooting, and as soon as you let it go, you're going to see almost like a pile of dust a little bit coming off. And that always concerns me, because it's slowly starting to disintegrate.
You're talking the bow, right?
Yes.
That bow should not be shot anymore. What you do is, when you have a bow inspection, you're doing a bow inspection, you look down and see if the limbs are straight. Okay, I don't have one here handy, but you look down, see if the limbs are straight. If there's any separation of lamination, that bow should not be being shot. Vertical stress lines are not bad. Horizontal stress lines, very bad. That bow's gonna go. I mean, if you go to YouTube, you can see people pulling back and watching bows fail. Self bows eventually can fail, okay, over a period of time. It's kind of like my steel prod. I told you eventually that prod will fail. That prod will break, okay, over a period of time because of mental fatigue, okay. But when you're addressing that question, when that bow's being inspected by the marshal up front, okay, if the limbs are bent a little bit or this way or that, you know, you're looking for that general safety. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
Of the bow, and if you have a lamination like, well, here, let me put these down. Hold on, let me turn the light out. Oh, there. Okay, here, let me show. Here's the laminated prod, and you can see there's like wood glued to wood with this and that. And if there's any separation of that, I have one of these where I have this split right here, okay? And what I did is I took and I wrapped, I don't think it's that bad of a split. And I think if I get somebody that works on these, I talked to John who does these, I wrapped it in saran wrap in there and I want to send it to him. He says he thinks he can glue it and put it back together and make it. It was a 100-pound prod. This is a 125, okay? And, but if you see, let me try if I can get this up here close enough. You see those layers there? If there's any separation of these layers, it's done. You're done. If I have a separation of anything, you're done. I left one of these in the back of my car in the sun and it delaminated, and I cried.
People go and either wrap their bow with either leather or some type of fabric or fur, and at that point, it's like you guys can't be doing that because I understand you want to keep it for either keeping it away from weather, sun, everything like that, but it's impossible to inspect without.
But if you know, on a crossbow prod, you mean?
Yes.
If they're doing that on a crossbow prod, actually that will keep things safer, because if there's a failure of that prod, then it will be confined to that. Okay. It used to be they would take and put a string and wrap the string on it. So if the prod let go, the string would hold that there. You will see I have one that's a fiberglass prod that was wrapped in leather. Okay. And if that prod breaks, that's confined by the leather will keep it right together. Okay. And you can wrap there. 1960s to the 80s, a man by the name of George Stevens in Huntsville, Arkansas, made crossbows. I have some of his crossbows. And the thing was that he would wrap his prods in electrical tape. So in case the prod would break, the electrical tape confined the prod to the crossbow. It wouldn't go flying off and hit somebody. Okay. So actually having the prod wrapped keeps the prod safer in that way. Okay. You're going to find out if you run into a prod failing, it's exceptional. Okay. You have to hang around me long enough and eventually I'll have one break because I shoot a lot. Okay. If you have your average shooter, the prods overall can shoot for quite a while, unless you, like, as I said, I left one laminated prod in the sun. I had no idea it let go and it delaminated really nice and it was ruined. I thought we might be able to glue it back together, but nope. The steel prod, fiberglass prod, or the aluminum prod, again, the shrink wrap here is, this thing's going to fail here. It's not going to fail out here. It's going to fail here where the power is. Okay. And on the other ones, and that's where there should be some consideration. I do not think that there's a requirement at this time to have a wrapping. They should have some kind of something somewhere to make sure that a crossbow prod has some kind of, like Gladius and Slow, who make these steel prods, they both put them on there. Okay, back when I first started shooting back in the early 90s, 1990 era, they weren't on there, but he added it, and it works out, because when those things have broken for me, it's worked that way. Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else? Anything else? That's why I said this is exactly what we're here to do. You know, we're here to have that time to talk amongst ourselves and ask that. And it's kind of, I think, important. I'll sit back and go to do what if. Okay, what if this, what if that, and that you have that in the back of your mind to look at. And then more importantly, it's where I'll sit back and go, I'm always looking for something. Okay, maybe we got to look at this. Maybe we got to look at that. You follow me? So anything else?
No, I don't think I have anything.
I'm good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, let me take you on a little walk here. Go to the other side of my house.
Wait, there's exercise involved with this?
There's
Just
what?
for Dennis. Just for Dennis.
Say we're going on a walk. I don't remember there being exercise being required in this.
Well, I'm about to show you. Here is one side of my living room.
Oh my gosh.
Here is another side. Now, some people have,
Okay,
Deer
that's
heads.
epic. Sorry, I had to say that.
that's okay. That's okay. Some people have deer heads. Some people have bear heads. I have a dragon's head. Okay.
Which is
Here's-
the only head you need.
That's right. That's right. And then here's some more crossbows. Now we keep turning to the other side. And we have that. But wait, there's more. We go over here to this little pile, which I have to get hung up yet. You can see the big wooden ones. That's a German bow that technically shoots they shoot steel bolts at a lead target. I'm trying to get that one retrofitted with a crossbow there. That's a self-cocking one, which you're not allowed to have. It was actually designed by the Horton Crossbow Company, made for the Pink Panther 2 movie, and then sold to Barnett, which they sell. And then I have a variety there. I even have if you watch the Slingshot channel, hold on here, I'm trying to not move things too much, but I have here on the floor, it's called the Adder. It's a bottom cocking crossbow that holds 7 shots right there. But if you look up the Slingshot channel on YouTube, that's one that Jorg developed. But yeah, I got some toys, baby. You can see there's
2 more.
There's 2 10-points. There's a mission. I got 4 Excaliburs. I have a partridge in a pear tree. But to show you more, there is. I want to show you a demonstration of something called a bow press, because I want to go outside and shoot. And I apologize for jiggling, but I want to set things up here. Now, before you, this is an Apple bow press. Okay. I can set that down just a little bit there. And what I do is I take the crossbow, I take the string off and put the string across there, and I slowly and now we will string crossbow, get it down. You get it over the tip, you pull the string up so it's tight on both sides. And we let it go up like that. Have it clear.
Oh,
Voila.
nice.
You have the demonstration of the Apple bow press, which is for somebody like myself, it's a matter of acceptance of getting older. But you can go and you can demonstrate. Oh yeah, real quick, I'll show you over here in the corner. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it that well. There's two of my suits of armor. I fought for 30 years. And after 3 knee operations, and behind my chair, I have a suit of plate back there, nicely dented, that I fought in. I always wanted to have armor on a stand like that. But what I want to do now is let me grab a couple bolts and we'll go outside and shoot. Okay? So you can, whatever you want to do. Oh, let me get that. You grab a scarf, a hat.
Dennis,
Yep.
so with the recurves and longbows, you know,
Yep.
we have people unstring them when they're done using them or for storage. Is that the same with crossbows? Since
Steel
it's so
prods
hard to
aren't
do.
okay. Steel prods are not as you don't have to unstring them as much as I unstring them occasionally. Laminated prods, I unstring them every day. I do not let a laminated prod strung. Fiberglass, I actually, if I'm storing a crossbow, I unstring everything. Okay, but the steel prod. What do you want me to shoot? I can shoot. We can shoot that one, or we can shoot that one, or we can shoot them both. I don't care. I'm open. How about we do this? Bear with me.
Now you go to the screen.
Let me get 3 of those. Let me get 3 of these. And, okay, I'll show you something here. This is a pocket quiver, which I've acquired. And I can take and put my bolts in there, stick it back in my pocket. So I'm going to take this crossbow and we will take this crossbow too, pick up our trusty iPhone, because I just remembered I want my gauntlets, my shooting gloves. And we'll go outside and I'll give you a shooting demonstration real quick. Now I use, actually, they're real fancy. What they are is, okay, I use a 3/4 finger. That's important because then I catch the string. And these are actually gym gloves. These are weightlifting gloves from a gym that you could, I'd get them off of Amazon. Okay, now bear with me here. And I can attest to you shooting, what are we at today? Oh, we're up to 29. We're up to 29 degrees, so it's warm out. Bear with me here. Making sure no kitties get out the door. And what we'll do, if you bear with me here a second, I'll take you out to the range real quick, stepping over and not falling on the ice. Since I'm 100 yards. Now, if I can show you here, if you look, not that easy to see, my neighbor let me cut through her hedge. So I can go back and shoot up to 140 yards. Today, we're going to shoot, see where my target is. We're going to shoot here at roughly, start out here at 100 yards, then we'll, okay. Oh, shit. There. Going to bear with me here. Okay. Let me turn it down just a little bit. I'll fall apart there. Okay. Now this crossbow I've been shooting, okay. And you're probably not going to see this much on the line, but for the sake is shooting there. And we're going to take a shot here at 100 yards. And believe it or not, I just hit the target because I can hear the sound of the target. Now, right now, I'm kind of shooting blind because if you watch the videos, I have lights up the tree there. I am off the lights, but that's shooting there at 100. Now, what we're going to do is a more realistic view. We'll go to about 40 or 50. I'll shoot the other one. I want to shoot that one because that's a bit more traditional of what you're going to be dealing with there. And anybody have any questions? Ideas?
The only question I have is, could you put the camera to the side of the crossbow so we can see how you shoot?
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll do it both ways.
Cool.
Do it both ways. Matter of fact, how about I set it there, bring it down here, and now this will be more of a traditional, okay? I take the crossbow, I put it down like this. I lean over and I cock a crossbow with my arms. I don't cock. Let's see, okay. I want to see where the little ones were. Oh. There we go. Here's your traditional bolt. Okay, I bring it up. I place it in there, okay? Then I come up and I'm going to shoot at the big green goblin. And I hit him. But I take the crossbow, I lean down, I go down, noting, see where my hands are? With this crossbow, I can't hurt myself if I put it there. Taking the crossbow bolt, placing it in the roller nut. Now, I'm aiming at the goblin, and I'm aiming just below his feet so I can see where we hit. When we get down, right now we're shooting at about 45 yards. And
Dennis,
yes,
I know you're saying before that you don't want to place your hand above where the table is because of that's the danger
Right.
triangle or the triangle of ouchiness.
Right.
But
Right.
how come your
Right.
hand is still going in there to load the bolt? Isn't that still crossing over that triangle?
well, I have to load somehow.
Okay.
See, I put the bolt in here and I get my hand out. I get it in and I get it seated. Okay. And when I have that, it's cocked. I bring it in and I have it seated and I remove, like I can remove it. And since I have a clip on here, and the reason with you have the clip on, that's going to set your bolt. You follow me? It's just a matter that I have to be able to put it in there, and that's what you have. It's then going back in and fooling around with it. Okay. Now, if you don't have the clip, you got to watch, because if the bolt goes off to the side, you might have to put your finger in there, and put it back in the rail. Okay. But it's something you sit back, you're probably not going to see, you're going to come load it. No. Okay. Nope. That's exactly the type of thing. I'm going to try to hit the COVID. I have a COVID mask down there. Let's see here. That's this one. Okay. So there. Do I have any more red bolts? I have one more. Okay. Oh, we'll go down and see how we hit. There. Bring it up. It goes forward. I'm going to get close here. Take it in. I set it in. I get my hand out. Okay. I come up. And there's a mosquito down there. Mosquito. Let's see if I can hit the mosquito. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do, the iPhone off frame here, the crossbows to settle in right, and we'll walk down. Videos. I have one thing. That's open now. This is the snowiest winter we've had. And let's see where we hit. I'm curious too. Oh, we shot high. We shot, got the mosquito good. We shot. That is a COVID Halloween mask. This is a goblin. That's an orc or an imp. They have them. They've been saying both. Have a modern crossbow. These I can pull anything out of. This is an old undead Fred body with zombie head. So that's what we do. Here's my target range that I have. Last year I had that back piece moved back, so I got 100 yards. I have a slot shoot. That tongue thing coming out over there is Krampus from Christmas. The steel knight there sitting, that's Iron Will. The only part of that target is his head. That's a piece of steel. I have a life-size zombie there that you can shoot at. But if you're a really good shot, here is Iron Will. That's the only target. This is steel. Don't miss. This is my zombie that Master Spence Colby did. But during the lockdown, I rebuilt this. Even painted it, made it bigger. I have solar lights. They'll shine very nicely tonight. Got a deal on these Iron Man targets. I have them. I love them. But there you go. I shoot and I hit things. Shot a little bit high in my book. Anything else? Anybody have anything?
Just to say thank you for taking time to show us all this.
Yes, thank you very much. I feel very informed.
Yeah, Dennis, this has been
guess what?
wonderful.
We lost. I'm glad I said it's like, feel free to share. Follow up with questions if you have them. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's important. First of all, I like doing what I do. I've been in the society now. This is my 39th year. Okay. And part of who we are as a group is sharing and teaching. And for to learn, somebody hires Z. I'm happy to do it. The society is getting world publicity with people that I talk with all over the world about there, because you'll see me net with like medieval themes. I'm done working on the video. But no, the society to me is really, I have no problem, and I'm happy to help out however you need.
So,
Okey-doke.
yeah, thanks. Euphrates, is this going to be posted on Facebook or YouTube or where? You're muted.
Are we done with the recording part of the class?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think so.
All right. Thank you